Morning, everybody. All nations have national heroes, and one of the French's heroes is Joan of Arc, who lived in the 1400s. Well, it was on this date in 1429 that Joan led an army into Paris. And you might wonder, well, why did she need to do that in the first place? Well, stay tuned. When William the Conqueror conquered England in 1066, that led to many English nobles owning land in France. In 1328, Charles IV of France died. He did not have a brother, nor did he have a son. He did have a sister, though, Isabella, and you'll notice on this chart, she's married to Edward II of England. So their son, Edward III of England, she claimed could be King of France. And that's kind of the background to the Hundred Years' War. So when the Hundred Years' War begins in about 1340, France is not France yet. It's some lands owned by the king, others independent, particularly Burgundy. The Duchy of Burgundy is going to be a major player in this story. So Joan is born in Domremy in the Champagne region. This is her house. She was illiterate, simple family. And when she was 3, the Battle of Agincourt took place, where Henry V gives his St. Crispin's Day speech in the play, and the king here is wearing a shirt that has both French and English symbols, reminding us that the English claimed to be kings of France. At the same time, early 1400s, the Black Death is in France, and the French people are really not doing so great. Well, when Joan is 13, she has a vision, and the vision says that she should help this guy, Charles VII, become king of France. We should kick out the English so he can be crowned in a traditional ceremony. So Joan went down to Orléans, south of Paris, where Charles was with the army. Orléans was being besieged by the English, and she offered to drive the English from the city. And Charles, thinking, well, what do I have to lose, says, okay. And Joan, very charismatic, people believe God is on her side, leads the French into battle and defeats the English at Orléans. And in the center of Orléans today is this very cool statue of Joan of Arc. Well, soon after that, Joan is able to go with Charles to the cathedral at Reims, where the French kings get crowned, and he gets crowned, and there she is at his side. Kind of romantic view in this painting. And it was a few weeks later, on this date, August 26, 1429, that Joan and the army actually enter Paris, which had been occupied by the English. So you'd think Joanie would be finished now. Charles is king, Paris is liberated, but she's still with the army, and in Compiègne, she actually gets captured by the French Burgundians. Remember, I mentioned Burgundy was kind of independent. And the Burgundians were allies with the English at this time. So they sold her to the English because Charles wouldn't pay her ransom. She was tried for heresy because of the visions she claimed to see. She was tried by the English. There were all kinds of problems with evidence, all kinds of problems with procedure, with jurisdiction, but it didn't matter. The English found her guilty. She was not only burned at the stake, but burned a couple of times just so they could be really sure that she was dead. And they sprinkled her ashes in the Seine River in Paris. This is the place in Rouen today where she was burned at the stake. Well, when the Hundred Years' War ended in about 20 years, Charles convened a new trial. She was found innocent. She was proclaimed a martyr. And this was part of the process by which she became a saint in 1920. So when you visit France today, there are all kinds of things named after Joan of Arc, like this hotel. If you go to Orléans, you can see a reenactment of her defeating the English. And her image even made it to the United States, where she was used in this World War I poster to buy war saving stamps. So who was Joan of Arc? Well, she stands for religious piety. She stands for nationalism. She stands for female empowerment. However you view her, she is a great hero for the French people.